Dragons, centaurs, phoenix, unicorns, all fantastic beasts from ancient Greek mythology, now revived by fantasy fiction writers of the West. Hippogriffs, thestrals, grindylows, basilisks, all magical creatures that roam Hogwarts and the world of Harry Potter, which incidentally have been inspired by several legendary mythical creatures of the Western lore. What about magical beings from Indian mythology? Well, we all know animals have been an integral part of Indian culture and tradition, with several animals being worshipped for the significance they add to our lives. In fact, many of our gods have very common birds and animals for their vahanas or vehicles. For example, Kartikeya's peacock, Shiva's bull, and Parvati's lion. But unlike the fantastic beasts of Greek mythology, or the ones that populate the world of Harry Potter, the beasts of Indian mythology are not always exotic looking. They are not always hybrid creatures, that is, a combination of two or more species like the centaurs or the phoenix. Very often, they are real birds who are believed to possess certain miraculous powers, or known to exhibit certain peculiar traits. Friends, a very warm welcome to you all to yet another episode from Kulture Katha. In today's video, we take a look at a few legendary birds from Indian mythology and folklore, each of the birds representing qualities such as wisdom, love and devotion. Let's start with Hansa. We all know Hansa, the swan, is often depicted as the Vahana of Saraswati. But what does the Hansa represent or symbolize? The Hansa or the swan has come to mean different things over different times. From being identified with grace and beauty to wisdom to Atman or the soul, its significance has changed through the Vedas, the epics and the Puranas. We find several references to Hansa in the Vedas. These birds are repeatedly mentioned in the Rigvedic hymns, particularly in association with the Ashwini twin gods and the Maruts or the gods of storm, when their movements are likened to the movements of the swans. In the Atharva Veda, the swans are credited with having the knowledge of some secret herbs. But by the time of the Upanishads that came later, the term Hansa is used to refer to the soul or the Atman or even the Brahman, the all-pervading Brahman. The flight of the Hansa represents moksha or release from the worldly life of samsara. But it is in the Mahabharata, in the story of Shakuntala and Dushyant, that we find some of the earliest references to the bird's magical ability to separate water from the milk. The Hansa here represents the wisdom or the discretionary intellect to sort and sift the good from the bad. This attribute is called Viveka Buddhi in Sanskrit. In fact, there's even a Sanskrit proverb that goes, the Hansa is white and so is the heron. Heron is actually a sort of a crane. So the Hansa is white and so is the heron. So what makes them both different? It is in the test of milk and water, it is proved which is Hansa and which is the heron. Not surprisingly, this wise bird is depicted as the Vahana of Brahma and Saraswati. Both the gods, as we know, are associated with wisdom. Subsequently, this symbolism of the Hansa came to be used extensively in Sanskrit literature. Then we have some magical birds that are frequently referred to in the context of love and devotion. The Chakora, the Chataka and the Chakravaka, to name a few. Many of these references may have come from folklore, but have subsequently found their way into mainstream classical devotional literature too. Chakora is one such bird that belongs to the partridge family found in the hills of North India and is symbolic of intense and everlasting love. It is believed that the Chakora is passionately in love with the moon and keeps gazing at it, shedding tears and grief from being unable to unite with it. According to some other legends, this bird feeds on moonbeams or soma, which is its nectar or amrita. No wonder then that this bird has been evoked in several literary works and even Bollywood songs to indicate not just passionate love but also unrequited, unfulfilled love. What makes this symbolism interesting is that in reality, the chakora male is found to be monogamous, or it takes only one mate through its life. Another bird that is believed to be monogamous is the Krauncha Pakshi, which, based on descriptions available in the Valmiki Ramayana, has been identified with the Saurus crane. In a sense, the epic owes its very existence to the Krauncha bird. According to the Ramayana, when Valmiki was meditating one day, he saw a hunter kill one of the pairs of Krauncha birds sitting on a tree. The pitiable sight of the survivor, grieving from the pangs of separation from its dead mate, is what sparked off the idea for Ramayana in him. It was at that moment he decided to write the story of separation of the two lovers, Rama and Sita. A few of the birds that are believed to possess certain mythical traits are the Chataka and the Charavaka birds. Chataka is identified with the pied-crested cuckoo bird. In Indian legends and lore, this bird is believed to drink only the water that falls directly from the rains. So this bird has come to symbolize purity and chastity, as it will not drink water once it has fallen to the earth. The Chataka bird is thus perennially found looking to the skies for rain-bearing clouds. And Chakravaka is identified by some as the ruddy goose, also known as the Brahmani duck. Now this Chakravaka is a bird that flies in pairs during the day, but is cursed to remain separated from its mate after sundown. This is because in their previous birth, these birds had disturbed some sages doing penance, and the sages had cursed the birds to undergo separation from their beloveds in the night. So according to legends, the bird is always looking towards sunrise, after which it can reunite with its mate. Adi Shankaracharya, the chief proponent of the philosophy Advaita Vedanta, was also an accomplished poet. He invokes four of these birds, the Hamsa, Chataka, Charavaka and the Chakora, as similes in a single verse in his composition Shivananda Lahari. He says, just as the swan or Hamsa desires a cluster of lotuses, the Chataka longs for the dark blue clouds, the Chakravaka for the sun and the Chakora for the moon. I, your devotee, long to be at your lotus feet. So goes the verse. Although in reality these birds do not have such magical backstories, something in the behavior of these birds has led to the formation of such myths, which are further endorsed in literature and other channels of popular culture. Friends, there are a few more fascinating birds that have equally fascinating stories around them. Let's look at those in my next video. Till then, tata, bye bye, take care, stay safe.